I like that Let's Eat in the background. Yeah, that's alright. I ain't been on this thing in a long time. It's been probably like close to 5 years since I went live on this channel. Yeah. It's been about 5 years since I went live on this channel. Um we're gonna let the room build up and get some people in here. Welcome everybody. We letting the room build up. And then we're gonna have a discussion. That smell like a real that smell like a real pizza that quick. We'll never ever, never, ever, ever be apart. We're gonna have a discussion today about estates, but we're gonna let some more people. I want at least 12 people to get in here before I start talking about it. Thank you for the super chat, Shaka Zulu. And oh yeah, it's been hell almost family personal care. But we're gonna talk about something specific today. We're gonna talk about um estates. I want to talk about estates. Thank you, Racky Justice. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, long live Moses the Great. Yeah. Thank you for supporting and thank you for watching every video. I think we did a great job with, pointing out everything that needed to be pointed out. And we also let divine timing come in. So now people can look at the trajectory of everything that's happening in the country and the direction that the country is moving in. So we're in a different landscape now. So people can see, they can see real clear what's uh what's been going on. Thank you. I appreciate it, Shaka Zulu. It's just hard like, when you know that they're cheating, when they cheat, you know? And it's like, even though today I wanted to talk about estates in here, we could talk about that a little bit. Um, I appreciate you saying that my determination and grit and perseverance is admirable, but it's like it's kind of hard to be encouraged when they cheat. Like, what are the courts for? If you're gonna go to court and you're gonna have a battle in court, what is the point of having court if nobody wants to come to court to have the battle? What's the point if they're gonna cheat and not want to come? So what is that? So it just gets frustrating and time consuming. A lot of time has gone by. Lots. Yeah. Well, I mean, Shaka Zulu, it's kind of hard for me to say that because um I don't know. It's just this place been around for a long time. This place that we live in has been around for a very, very long time. So why would it just be over now? Why would it's not going to be over now. It's just we have uh we have people in the world that's just turned everything inverted. So that's why nothing makes sense. But that doesn't mean you have to accept it. Almost Family Personal Care. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the pizza. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, what is something that you've learned from our channel? What have you learned from watching me go through this and watching me, you know, go through this fight and watching me lose my brother, watching my brother get killed and get covered up? What's your thoughts on that? Let's have a little dialogue about that. If you was in my shoes, what would you have done? Let's talk about that. Don't be shy. How would you have handled the situation if you knew that somebody in your family was being pursued to be killed? How would you deal with that? And then how would you deal with it if they were successfully killed? How would you deal with that? Nobody's saying nothing. Nothing at all. I think that's my answer right there. I don't think they would have been able to deal with it. We've learned no one in office is ever held accountable. But think about it. I mean, I can agree with that. But there comes a time. Have you ever heard of the word tipping point? You ever hear somebody using that word, a tipping point? There comes a tipping point. There comes a tipping point when you have gone too far with something. Then there comes a tipping point where something has to be done. Rather, if it's not through the regular means of things getting done, then it will be through creative, non-traditional means of getting that done. Oh, I know. So I understand, Shaka Zulu. Well, this is what I'd like to believe. When you talk about mathematics and things being organically random, then you understand that when you have too much of one thing happening, it's not organic, it's just being done like that. So I think that this is going to move into another direction, uh, maybe in a very creative direction where everything will be everything will be different. Everything is going to be different. Like next year, everything is going to be different. Everything is going to be different because it's too out of order. Everything is too out of order. The courts are out of order. Attorneys are out of order. Judges are out of order. It's just all out of order. Where's the balance? Where's the order? Where's the structure? Where is that? Where is it? So I came across this video of this guy. He's a medical doctor, and this guy that's a medical doctor, he right. I mean, they might think they could do what they want to do, but there comes a time. I'm telling you, there comes a time. I'm telling you, there comes a time, and there comes a season. There comes a season, and in this is the season for all of this stuff to something to get done about this stuff. I mean, they might have the appearance that they can do what they want to do and get away with doing what they want to do, but to be honest with you, nobody really can do what they want to do because it's going to be consequences, and that's just the way it is. It's going to be consequences because that energy have to balance off, and the balance is the consequence. Sometimes it just take a while, but it get the balance. It's just embarrassing. Like the whole thing is embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. Well, um, Jay White, sometimes it's not really about who is going to stop them. It's more. I like to think it's more about what is going to stop them instead of a who. Because when you say who is going to stop them, then that would imply that uh, a person, a powerful person, would do that. And I don't think it's that cut and dry. I really truly believe that it's about what is going to stop them, and it's got to be something that they see where damage is being caused to their own bottom line from the things that they're doing. So when it start catching up to them and it start harming them and start touching them in spaces they don't want to be touched in, they'll figure out how to do something about it. Because before before things start affecting everyone, they affect small people, small by small, a little bit by little bit. So they might affect the different groups. Like the black people might be affected different. Then the Hispanic people might be affected different during a certain administration. But it really don't matter because it's going to be a balance factor that's going to come in and balance everything off, because the same energy, it starts to affect everybody in some way. Because then you're going to have some people that say, okay, well, if we could get away with doing that, then if we can get away with doing that to those people, then we can do this to these people, and then it just keep going round and round and round until it reached that tipping point because they went too far. That's how it go. Thank you for the super chat, preferred nerd. Yeah, God is real. Yeah, and it's like I don't know what it takes for people to understand that seasons is real, and something that you do in one season might be detrimental to you to do in another season. So it just depends. So what is something that you guys learned from our situation on this channel? What is something that you've learned going through, watching me go through all of this? Did you learn something about the courts? Did you learn something about the law? Tell me what you learned. What's your takeaway from this situation? Beware of the honeypots. Oh, that's a good one. We're happy that you know that. We happy that you know about that because we could save a life. We could save a life. So, because a lot of people, they don't know about that. They could come in, kill you, and take everything. Sometimes take your children. That's not even theirs either. They could take them too. I've seen and heard it all. I've seen it all and heard it all. So it's like, this is how I like to view it. Walk with me for a minute, y'all. Walk with me for a minute. I want to tell you what I think about that specifically. If I'm okay, let's put an example out here. Let's put an example out here. Let's say, for instance, I'm the owner of Gucci. Okay, let's say I'm the owner of the brand Gucci. Okay, and I say, I want you to model for me, and I'm going to pay you $1 million a year for 10 years. Okay? So it's a 10-year contract for $1 million a year. Okay? But what if I know, as the high preferred nerd? So getting back to the example, if I know that I'm gonna pay you $1 million a year for 10 years, so I'm gonna say, okay, at the end of this 10 years, you're gonna be to collect $10 million from me. But what if I have somebody that can kill you? in a way that me as the owner of the company wouldn't even realize it. Wouldn't even me as the owner of the company, me as the owner of the company set that up to get that money back. That's how I feel like what's being done in America. I feel like people who's being paid all of these contracts for all of this money and all of these big amounts, that money is being recouped. A percentage of that money is being recouped and they're being whacked and it's being taken. And I look at that and I see that happening with a lot of content creators on TikTok and YouTube. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. It's a fucking pattern. And it's sick. Sometimes I wish I didn't know it. But it's incredible. And then the bad guys, when they get caught, they got the authorities helping them. That's the most diabolical shit. They got the authorities helping them. I was listening to this guy. He's a medical doctor. And he had to be in his late 60s or something. And he basically was talking about how they killed his mom. They put her in a guardianship to lock down all her assets. And then they killed her and cleared the board and took all the assets. I said, man, what's the point of working? What's the point of having a business? What's the point of doing anything? If these people can just come in and use the courts and use the judges to come in, freeze up your shit and take it, and then put you somewhere in a nursing home, put you somewhere in the hospital, put you somewhere where they could dope you up or overdose you, and then now you dead, and they fucking crooks just made off with all your shit. They crooks just made off with all your shit. Yeah, they trying to do it to Wendy. See, it blew up in their face with Wendy. It blew up in their face with her. You see what I'm saying? They was trying to do that with Wendy, and like these banks, they be in on it. The banks be in on it. They be in on it. That's why you can't have nothing in your name. You cannot put nothing in your personal name. It has to be put in a trust. Because a court cannot take jurisdiction over a trust and change its terms and conditions. They could do that to a will, or they could do it if you don't have a will. They can do that. So you got people who worked all their life and dedicated all their lives to working on something and built it nice, and then they became nothing more than just a pig that was fattened up and they were slaughtered and for other people to feast on. Yeah. Yeah, a trust. So basically you just get the trust documents and then you title everything to the trust. So it's not enough for them to take people's kids. They take people's kids and they take people's elderly parents. They take possession of the elderly parents and strip their assets, and they take possession of the kids and sell them off to whoever they want to sell them off to. A lot of times they already got them sold before they get them. And that's just what's happening. Who want to raise a family somewhere like that? Who want to have a business somewhere like that? Who want to build somewhere like that? And the authorities is in on it. And then the whole time you got the government fighting itself. Like our government has an autoimmune disease. It's attacking itself. So it's no good to go to the authorities because they too busy attacking each other. So what do? Yeah, Jay White, they killed all of them. Yeah. And you can see the pattern in the stories. And you can see where they have the the certain members, the certain family members that have a certain affiliations with fraternities and sororities, they use those. They use those to to do that. That was good. That was good shit. That was good shit right there. Yes, rituals. Yeah. But I mean, it's enough people in the world that will participate in that. So why you gotta try to force other people to try to participate in that, or try to hold them to the standards of the rules of your cult or whatever? Like, why would you do that to somebody when they didn't sign up for that? Now, if somebody signed up for that, then that's their damn business. That's what they chose. But when you have somebody that didn't sign up for that and that's not a part of that, why you want to try to force them to be a part of something like that? I mean, that makes no sense. It don't read. And then these damn judges, I swear, every major problem that someone have in their life has to do with the courts or something connected with the courts. These courts are the problem. They the main problem. With the bribery to pay for play, it's sad. Stealing children, selling children, taking possession of the elderly, putting them in guardianships, restraining their assets, using their doctors to kill them, and then come in and clear the board with the assets. It's like, mm-mm. I always knew everything was a scam. I always knew it. 80% of everything is a scam. It's not what it seems. It's gonna be either a bait and switch, a scam, or a waste of or a bunch a waste of time. I'm sorry, a waste a bunch of time. The trust can take possession over the stuff in your name. You could spell that out in the trust, but if you have things in your personal name, the state got jurisdiction over that because your name belongs to the state governments. Okay, your name belongs to the state government, so anything in that name is going to be controlled by the state or governed by the state. You want to put it in a trust. When you put it in a trust, it's titled to the name of the trust. So if you call the trust the Cactus Trust, then you'll put your car in the Cactus Trust name. Put your bank accounts in the Cactus Trust name. Put your house in the Cactus Trust name. Put everything in the Cactus Trust. So that means when somebody try to come for those assets or do anything to those assets, then they have to have they can't do nothing because the Cactus Trust didn't physically do nothing. The Cactus Trust wouldn't be liable because it's its own entity. I mean, you could copyright and trademark your name. You can do that, and you could trademark, but that's you still will it still will subject you to having to take legal action. When you have a trust, the courts can't take possession of nothing in that trust. The attorneys can't take possession of nothing in that trust. The beneficiaries and the trustees going to work with each other and work out that because everything is set in stone. It's already spelled out. Exactly, Jay. Exactly. But somehow we've become accustomed. So look, I'm gonna ask you a question because we just having fun on here right now. Like this is we just going back and forth having a little bit of fun. So let me ask you something. I'm gonna put something on your mind right now. I'm about to mess your head up. Okay? Bear with me just one moment. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, everybody that's in this live right now, everybody that's here, y'all all have family members. Okay? You got a grandmother, you got two grandmothers, you got a mother and a father, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles. Let's do an exercise real quick, okay? I want to see how many people paying attention, and I want you to walk with me on this, okay? Okay? I'm this is gonna be really good here. When your loved ones, I want you to think about all your loved ones that's passed away. Get a piece of paper and write down everybody's name who passed away in the last 16 years in your family. And then ask yourself, who is the head of all of their estates? Because it's somebody. It's somebody. Who? Is it the people that's downtown? Your county? It's the county that your loved ones lived in. The county that your loved ones live in. Who is head of their estate? Because I'm head of Moses' estate right now. But they didn't want me to be head of his estate. So they just backdoored everything and stole everything through the back door. Okay? So who is the head of the estate for all your family members? I bet you don't know that. And I bet you when you find out, it's a whole bunch of people that your family don't know. So guess what that means? Any assets that's owned by those people, any assets that's owned by your family members, or any assets that get found after their death, those people already got it. They already got it. And so every time your relatives die off, more and more die off, more and more die off, they keep getting heads of those estates. They keep just taking them estates. They keep getting them. And then nobody in the family knows what's going on because they too busy at work, or too busy in college, or too busy in school. So the family didn't get a chance to inherit nothing. Nothing. It went to the county. It went to the county that they died in. It went to the gang members of the bar association in the town they died in, and the county they died in, that kind of shit. So everybody is too busy at work and at school, and too busy getting beat down. And the family members that died off, all they shit just got took. That's how it worked. That's what they doing. That's why rich people, they don't put money in their name. They don't put no money in their name. You could go get the richest person you could think of. They probably don't even got $5,000 in their name. Because they know about this game that I'm talking about. They know about this game that I'm talking about, and this game that I'm talking about it's the reason why a lot of people died. Doctors killed them for the county. Hmm. The gloves is off in here. We talking real in here. This is deception fucking stoppers. And we talking about this up in this bitch today. The hospitals is in on it. And you might think, well, you might say this. Look, come on, let's finish talking real. You might say, You might say, well, my cousin didn't have no money, or my family didn't have no money, or my auntie Nancy didn't have no money. And she came up dead and they killed her. But guess what Auntie Nancy probably had? Guess what she had? She probably had she probably had the type of blood that somebody needed. She probably had a liver that somebody needed. She probably had an organ that somebody needed, because they'll come in for that too. For all y'all that like to put y'all organ donors on your driver's license, guess what they could do? When you are organ donor on your driver's license, you go into a database, and these crooks can go in there and see what your blood type is and everything, and then they could set up the accident to get that organ that they know you got. That's what they could do. So it's not, you're not safe just because you broke. Because you might have something that money can't buy. You might have that organ that person way across the world need, and only you got it, and they need it from you. So guess what? They're going to set an accident up. This is how they play. Uh-huh. Yeah. And I could understand you say keep using a system, but at some point, something has to give. At some point, like when we all drive cars and we see a stop sign, we stop. Not because, not because we want to, because even if we didn't want to, we know it's a possible consequence that if we don't stop at that stop sign, or if we don't stop at that red light, we going to get fucked up. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Just because a person can abuse don't mean they should, because at some point they're going to be stabbing themselves with their own sword. So, you know, at some point it has to mean something. Yeah. Oh, absolutely preferred. Absolutely. Yeah, because people need to know this stuff. Because when it start happening to you, you won't even know what hit you. When it start happening, you won't know what hit you. You won't know what hit you when it start happening. When it start happening to you, you won't know what hit you. And you know what, Jason, I didn't I didn't listen to it, because they're not going to teach you. They're not going to teach you the things that you need to know, especially if it interferes with their system that they had going. Yeah, so look into that. Yep, you can look into that, and you can look into that, and you can see that they're taking people's estates. That's why the rich don't put money in their name. So at some point in America, as an American, you're gonna have to deal with someone trying to take something from you. And that might be your children, your money, your inheritance, or something like that. So it is my belief that we should be teaching these kids about this. And everybody shouldn't have to go to an attorney when they need help with something because that's just the gatekeeper to their system. Ugly Burrito, we all know what happened to him. We all know it's been, I've talked about it enough on the channel. Yeah, he was murdered by the American government in the federal. Let's talk about something. In the federal court of claims, when I took the United States to court in the federal court of claims, the judge, he took responsibility for the damages sustained. In his order, he said, Mr. Mark McCormick needs to find a constitutional provision that can fairly be interpreted to to pay the money for the damages sustained. But then they turned it to some pussies and they backed out. They backed out. They ain't even honor what's in that. Because they talking about they didn't have subject matter jurisdiction because they didn't want to fight. Because they some pussies. They didn't want to fight. They didn't want to deal with it at all. So they try to push me back to the district court. Yeah, they didn't want that work. The judge even told the Justice Department, because the Justice Department was the agency that was primarily responsible too, because we didn't get no justice from them because we was reporting to them everything that was happening and they kept ignoring us. And so, yeah, they was some bitches. They didn't want to fight in court. When it came time for them to submit an answer, the Judge Solemson, he stated, he froze their answer. He said, "Don't answer until we say." And then when he came in, he just said, "Oh, we don't have subject matter jurisdiction." And then they got out of there because they couldn't win. So how you gonna not have subject matter jurisdiction over the Constitution and it's on your website? They lied. They made a void order. They did have subject matter jurisdiction, but they have never been in a situation where somebody took them to the federal court of claims like that. Because usually they tell you got to use the Federal Tort Claims Act, and then with the Federal Tort Claims Act, you have to give them 6 months to respond to your notice of claim, and then all this monkeying around bullshit. And I wasn't doing that. So I took them to the federal claims court and they were stuck. They was like, shit, because we put all the evidence, we attached all the evidence to it and everything. And they was like, fuck, what do we do? Well, tell the Justice Department not to answer the complaint until we tell them. And that's what they did. And then when it was time for them to answer, they didn't answer. And then they just threw the case out and said, oh, we can't hear this case. We don't have subject matter jurisdiction. But if you go on their website, it says they have subject matter jurisdiction over the Constitution. Subject matter jurisdiction over the Constitution. We brought our cause of action arising under the Constitution, and they just still did that. So what's really going on? What is that? What is that? Exactly. And see, with the Constitution, they don't like it because once you start citing things from the Constitution, they can't go to the state law or to federal law and start grabbing from those groups of laws that's inferior and try to make it supersede what you grab from the Constitution. What you grab from the Constitution, it takes authority over all of that stuff. It takes authority over all that stuff. It's preempted under Article 6, Clause 2, which is referred to as the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution. It says the constitutional provisions are primary over all the laws, and the laws have to be consistent with them. Exactly. There is no sovereign citizen. Yep, you right, Jason Jackson. It is easy peasy, but they don't want people to believe that it's easy peasy. They don't want it to. They want you to feel like you got to go through all these books and look up all these laws and get all case laws and do all this shit, and you don't. That's just them playing their game. So they was allowed to play their game until my brother was killed. That's what they did. We went to the U.S. Supreme Court and everything. We went everywhere because I knew what they were doing. I knew what they were doing. We love you too. I knew what they were doing. I knew what they were doing the whole time. And they were still allowed to do it? How? They were still allowed to kill it. They were still allowed. Even though we got all that stuff on all them court records and all them court cases. All them records of all that stuff. So how do one continue to live in the United States knowing that? Should I stay in the United States? Should I stay here? Should I? If you were me, would you stay here? And if you would, why? Who would stay here? Like, who would want to continue to stay here and all this stuff was done like that? Like, who want to do that? Yeah, and they did it in front of everybody. So, knowing that they stealing people's assets, knowing that they stealing people's children, knowing that they doing all this, it's like, when do it stop? Well, wait, let me see. I want to respond to that. Uh, Jason Jackson, right? Um, I understand what you're saying about, in other places they got, kill teams here and all that. But I've looked at enough cases, and I've been doing this for a long time now. And I've looked at enough cases where I've seen people go to other places and live well. And then they come back here and get whacked off. That's what happens. I've seen it. I've seen it. Hi, Kai SKS. Exactly, Jason. Exactly. Yes. That's exactly what they do. So how do you continue in a space like that? What would make a person want? Because see, I'm a single guy. I ain't got no children or none of that. So what would make a person that's in a situation like that say, okay, I want to stay here and build a life here and do this here and do this here. Like, what's the incentive? What's the incentive on doing that? Why would I be any different than any of the other people that I've seen get slaughtered or get robbed and taken out? What would make me different? So why would I want to stay here? Why? Why would I want to stay here? Why? Why? What's the point? They already ruined my family. I don't have a family. I don't have one. They did a good job with that. They did a real good job with that. Now that now that I gotta give it to them. They did a they did a fantastic job with ruining my family because I cut all them motherfuckers off. I cut them bitches off like a motherfucking scissors to a confetti. I cut them bitches off and they'll never see me again. I haven't seen them in 5, 7, 6, 7 years. Yeah. Them bitches will never see my face again. Uh-huh. Yeah. I wouldn't piss on them motherfuckers if they was on fire. And when I told them and I said it was gonna be fresh like it happened 5 minutes ago, they thought, oh, what 2 or 3 years go by, he'll get over it, and you guys will all move on. And bitch, this shit is fresh like it happened 5 minutes ago. I told them. It's not a fucking hour that goes by that I don't think about what they did to my brother and what they did to me, poisoning me and stealing all of that lottery and shit from me and it's overkill. It's overkill. Justice at this point, it's like they did too much. Even if they contacted me and they said, okay, Mark, you know, we gonna give you double for your trouble. We gonna do this or we gonna do that. Nothing that they can do. Listen to me. Nothing that can be done can fix or balance out or make right what was done. They did way too much. It was too much that was done. It was way too much. It's not a checkbook matter. I'd rather see people go to jail for the rest of their lives and see them ripped away from their families and see them motherfuckers get the death penalty and shit. That's the type of shit that I like. Yeah, we was the family. So, Joseph, me and my brother, we was the family. So when he died, they lost both of us. So, yep, when they allowed him to get killed and they allowed me to get poisoned and they was sitting back waiting to collect life insurance policies and shit like that, yeah, they lost us both. Mm-hmm. And see, they thought I was playing. They thought I was playing when I said, okay, y'all participated in this shit and y'all all got together and y'all made these videos with these punk ass motherfuckers uh on YouTube making videos thinking this shit was funny. It's gonna come back and bite you in the ass and I'm never gonna talk to you again. You're gonna need me like you always did. In some way, shape, or form, you're gonna need me. And I'm pretty sure they need me like fuck right now. Like I said, I wouldn't piss on them bitches if they was on fire. Yeah, that poison fucked me up. Horizon Holistic Tech, that shit fucked me up. I would not be sitting right here right now if I didn't know what I know. And see, and they knew that they knew I had it in my system. So they felt comfortable with telling my mom, oh yeah, it's any minute. He ain't got long. So they already told her I ain't had long and told her I was gonna be dead, within a few days. And then when them days went by and I was up watching movies and then driving cars again and shit like that, they was mad. And they was mad as fuck. They was like, he's still alive. He driving now. And then when I start driving, they got me in a car accident. They used a Suburban. They used a Suburban. This is the second Suburban they used to try to kill me with. They used the Suburban to ram me and it rammed the whole pushed in the whole side of the car. I ain't have a scratch on me. I ain't have a scratch on me. And I know the judges and lawyers and the doctors are in on all that. I already know the whole jig. I already know the whole fraternity of how it go and how they partner together and this person do this and it's a system, it's a virus, it's a cancer. I already know. I'm hip to it. But yeah, they oh yeah, when I chelated that shit out of my system. Yeah, see, there's a lot of different complex chelations I know how to do. I'm not going to get into all of that cuz I don't want to just put all that out here right now. But yeah, if I didn't have that knowledge then I wouldn't be here. So I guess it's meant for me to be here. But yeah. Yeah, that's how you spell chelate with the ch. Yeah. Yeah, that those intracellular chelations is important. Uh-huh, cuz if you don't chelate that poison out your system, that shit going to shut you down. So when them days went by and I wasn't dead, they was like this motherfucker still alive. What do we do? What do we do? Yeah, y'all get this work. So they whole plans blew up in their face, but they still had the authorities helping them. So, it's just that's why, they still have the authorities helping them. And as a country, like it's a lot of people in other countries that know what happened to Moses and they contact me and send me emails and and it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing on the American government. It's really embarrassing because they're murdering their own people. They're murdering these celebrities. They're murdering these content creators. They're murdering these Bitcoin millionaires. They're murdering. They just going and killing people that they can't control. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Jason Jackson. Uh huh. They played in all of our faces, right in our face. How you gonna kill that man knowing that Judge Kim Brown already made that death threat? We got that on transcript. We already reported it as a death threat. You had the police going to his house calling him bitches at night, calling him at night, calling him bitches, knocking on his door, banging on his door at night for no apparent reason. Got the missing children's division of the police calling him at night, trying to get the kids from him and all this stuff. It's just like, man, they played a nasty game. They played a real nasty game. They played a nasty game, and I'm supposed to not do nothing. I'm supposed to just sit here and wait on the law, and I'm supposed to be like, okay, and I'm supposed to sit here and and know that they made erroneous rulings in the court, and I ain't supposed to go collect no scores. Huh? So I'm supposed to just sit here and be a good citizen, huh? And just wait on the authorities. And my brother got killed almost 5 years ago. Almost 5 years ago in March. And this bitch Kim Brown still she's sitting up in courtroom 67, still practicing and still doing this shit to other people, still talking to other people this way, still doing this shit. But I'm supposed to want to stay here. I'm supposed to want to represent and believe in this government and believe in this country. I'm supposed to. When I was in the sixth grade, I went to a school in Akron, Ohio called Jennings Middle School. And when I went to Jennings Middle School, we had to say the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning, and I refused to say it. And the teacher said, well, why you refuse to say the Pledge of Allegiance? I said, because I'm not putting my hand on my heart and I'm not lying. She said, what's lying about what? I said, justice for all, for liberty and justice for all. And she said, well, yes, you are. You're going to say it. If you come in tomorrow and you don't do it, I'm going to write you up. So I came into class the next day and I didn't say the Pledge of Allegiance and she wrote me up. And she sent me to the principal, Miss Mannion's office. And Miss Mannion said, are you a Muslim or something? Why you don't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance? I said, no, I ain't no Muslim. I just don't want to say it because I'm not lying. Because this is lies and programming. And she just looked at me and she was laughing. And she was like, I'll talk to her and, I'll tell her you don't have to say it and all this and all that. So that teacher had a vendetta against me because of that. And the teacher was a black lady too. She was like, why you don't want to say it? And then now look here, liberty and justice for all. What about liberty for me and justice for my brother? What about that? Where's all that at? Where's it at? Where the fuck is it? Where is it? Where the fuck is it? Yeah, she was programmed. And she was trying to program me. And that was in the 6th grade. And I still remember it because I'm passionate about the truth. And I'm passionate about real shit. I'm passionate about real shit. I can't stand waste the time, fake ass, pretendo ass, formality ass fucking bullshit. I hate it. I hate it. Just like I hate when people do stuff just to be doing it and there's no basis for it. You're just doing it just to do it. That's retarded to me. Okay? So yeah, I just wanted to come on here and, have a little discussion, random discussion. It's been about 5 years since we went live on this channel. It's been about 5 years. Or probably longer, probably 6. So how would you would have dealt with this situation? Kung Fu Blasian, I was talking about the way the government killed my brother and how I was taking legal action against them for all the stuff they took him through and trying to kill him. And then they still did it anyways. They still did it anyways. And they still did it anyway. And then they don't want to come to court. They don't want to come to court. Why they don't want to come to court? Because they found out that they can't keep up with me in them courts. In them courts, their attorneys cannot keep up with me. None of them. I can't tell you how many of their attorneys got mopped up. And the judge just, it's just sick, man. Their attorneys are not, they don't know the law. They got ring rust because they ain't have to use the law. They all make deals. So when they get somebody in there like me that's using the law and they can't keep up, they don't want to have court. They just freeze everything and make erroneous rulings. Do you know how many times I was in the court through all of these? I know it's the British Accredited Registry, Jason. I know all about that. They don't even let me in courtrooms. I'm so cold with this law. They won't even let me in a courtroom. They have any court Any court case that has to do with me, or any court that has to do with me, they having the court is over the phone. They don't let me appear in person. Oh no. Oh no. They have it over the phone. Yeah, they don't want me in no courts. None. No courts. No courts. I've been in 33 courts, and of those 33 courts, physically, I've only been in 4 of them. 4 courts out of 33. The rest was over the phone and through the mail. So tell me about that. Let's talk about that. Look at that. Look at that, baby. Let's talk about that. When it comes to this law, man, I'm so proud of myself. I didn't know none of this stuff. I didn't know none of this law stuff before before he got into that mess. I learned all of this stuff because of him and for him. I know this. Yeah, they was like, oh, we can't have them 2 motherfuckers together. Yeah, they was like, oh, we can't have them 2 together. They said we can't have them 2 together. This motherfucker speaking over 50 languages, and then this motherfucker learning the law and understand game, recognized game. He got street smarts. He know what we doing every time we turn around. And this motherfucker is winning the lottery. He's winning the Powerballs and shit. No, we gotta stop them. Who is these 2 motherfuckers, and how are they operating like this? Who is these 2 brothers, and why are they operating like this? And why is one of them 5 foot something and the other one is 6 foot something? They're both fucking smart. One is speaking 50 more languages than the other one is learning the law and using the law and winning and beating the court cases and winning lotteries. What are we? Who are these guys? Who are these guys? Them motherfuckers was horrified. November 7th, 2022, they was horrified because I was in court with them about a lottery prize that they stole from me in April of 2022, and we was in court already, in court for that. And the police was involved in everything. We had met with the lottery officials, had a meeting and everything. So we in court with that, right? So they figured they was just gonna make that go away. We gonna make this go away. We gonna say we just gonna sweep this under the rug, make it go away. So I had that first case file, and they was playing with the court, playing with the judge, playing with all that, and I kept playing. And then November 7th came, and I went and stayed in this hotel in Phoenix. I stayed in this hotel in Phoenix, Arizona. And right outside that hotel, it was a gas station. It was a gas station right outside that hotel. And I went to that gas station and I bought that fucking ticket. I bought that Powerball ticket. And then I called down to Florida and had a buddy in Florida play the same numbers that I played. So we both had a copy of the ticket. When they found out, they called technical difficulties on the drawing, stopped it. They stopped the drawing. They didn't have the drawing at all. That's the first time that happened in the 40-year history of the lottery. Never happened before. They stopped the drawing altogether and said, due to technical difficulties, we can't have the lottery drawing for the November 7th, 2022 Powerball due to technical difficulties. And then during the time where it was supposed to be technical difficulties, guess what? During that time, they had the black girl film a pre-recorded video of them doing a do-over drawing to dump the results of the first drawing that they did, that they had, that matched all the numbers on my ticket. And then they had Michelle Lyles do a do-over drawing and pre-recorded that same night. Okay, and then they alleged that they was having the drawing the next morning at 9 something o'clock, and that never happened. That it never happened. And then when they did release the footage for the drawing, the lady Michelle Lyles kept saying, "Good night, everyone. Good night," because they did it that same night that was supposed to have technical difficulties. Okay, so I sued them right away. Before they even announced a winner, I sued them right away because we caught them dead in the act. Okay? And then so they was like, shit, what do we do? He caught us in the act. He caught us in the act. What do we do? What do we do? And so they was like, okay, what do we do? How do we come out with this winner? Because in California, when there's a winner, it's not allowed to remain anonymous. You got to step forward. So we was just sitting back waiting for the person to step forward. But we had did a big enough investigation where we didn't even sue Edwin Castro. We didn't sue him. We didn't name him in the lawsuit because he's just being used. He's just being used. Okay? The cabal just used him. He's their actor. And then they made sure they honey trapped him. They made sure they put him with a girl so that they can make sure he still stays under surveillance and everything. I mean, the whole fucking situation of this American life is it's just a scam. It's just a fucking scam. And you know, it breaks my heart. My heart is broke for this fucking country in every aspect of the way. For people's retirement that gets stole, assets get stole, people's kids get stole, organs get stole, money gets stole, just freedom and liberty gets stole. Like, what the fuck? You know? Who would want to stay somewhere like that? That's why everything is being torn down right now and it's being brought back up. Everything is being torn down right now and it's being brought back up. It's being revamped. This is going to be 3 years from now. This country is going to be a totally different country. In just 3 short years, it's going to be totally different. A whole bunch of new names everywhere and things totally different. Totally different. Totally different. Different structure of government, different structure of law, structure, all that. Totally different. Yeah, and the American government, they throw rocks and hide their hands. Yeah, I haven't been on live in 5 years, so I wanted to just come on here and talk and, just have a discussion. They need to give the indigenous people their estates back. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Joseph, a lot of the indigenous people, like the indigenous people in my family, like my family, the land is still in our name. We still got our land patents. But the family just didn't know about it. But yeah, we got ours. The land patents are still in people's names, and you go to the BLM.gov, and they have the records with the land patents with the indigenous people's names still on them. Yes, I know Jason Jackson. And a lot of the history was lies. There wasn't no slaves. There wasn't no slaves picking cotton. There wasn't none of that. Those was indigenous Indians, American Indians, farming their own land, selling their own crops. You see what I'm saying? Doing all of that. I think that's already happened, Shaka Zulu. Yeah, Joseph. Yeah, try to find out who has authority over your family's estates. Go to each family member and see who's the head of their estate. And if you don't know, you could call the courts downtown and you could figure it out. You call the county clerk. You could figure it all out. So wherever they died at, whatever county they died in, that's the county that has jurisdiction over their estate. So they would know there because that's where the death certificate and all of that would be reflected that they died wherever they died at. Yeah, they've been scamming people. The only alloidial title is a land patent. A land patent is an alloidial title. All the other things, all the deeds are de facto titles. So they're inferior to a land patent. So if I'm a land patent owner and you have a deed to on my land, I can get you off my land. I can get you off my land because my land patent is gonna supersede that authority, and I'm gonna say, hey, look, this is my land. You either gotta pay or vacate, and that's the way it goes. And see, that's why another reason why a lot of these families been targeted too is because these are heirs of inventors, heirs of people who got land, heirs of all that, and they just keep hunting them down and just keep them busy with bullshit, make them go to college and and oh, you got to get an education, and you busy doing that all in their system while they all sitting over here with all your people's land and shit. When you go to BLM.gov, you're gonna go to the Glow Records, GLO Records. It's a database, and then you just go to your family tree, do your genealogy, get everybody that's in your family that's going way back, and plug all their names in that system, and you gonna get these land patents to start popping up. You sure will, and it's gonna tell you the coordinates of what where the land. It's gonna tell you all that. It's gonna tell you the coordinates of the land, where the land is located, the city, and all that. Sure will. Hey, Three Ball. Hey, it's good to see you. One of my biggest supporters. Thank you. Yeah, so that's how it go, and that database is the Bureau of Land Management.gov. So it's BLM.gov, and they got the Glow records in there, and you go in there, and it's got that information in that database. They even have an American Indian repository, a federal American Indian repository underground with the U.S. Department of the Interior. So they know whose family got land, and they know whose family got this and got that through all those records. They got it all on record. And see, a lot of people been getting their hands on this information, and it's changing things. You don't have to put the longitude, latitude in the search. You just put their name in there, and it's gonna have the certificate. Is gonna pop up, and all of that. Once you go further into the file, you'll see all of that in there. Oh yeah, they big on keeping records. Oh yeah, they know who's supposed to have what and all that. Yeah, if you got the land patent, just yeah, you got to have the land patent and then have your genealogy, and then you show how you related to them, and yeah, you are heir. The land patent say to your family member and their heirs forever. It doesn't expire. There's no taxes that need to be paid. It's non-transferable. It's permanent. And that's the problem. That's the problem. That's why they've been killing people because you can't get rid of the patent. You can't transfer it. You can't sell it. It's forever for that bloodline, for that people to that land. And that's why they've been flooding certain cities like Oscarville. That's now Lake Lanier. The American Indians own the Black American, Afro American Indians that look they with skin that look like me. We copper people. We own America. It's ours. We own it. We're the owners of this country. Oh, Jason Jackson, I'm hip. I know lots of the power come out the atmosphere and come from the ground. It all come from out the ground. That's why this American government gotta regularly. It has to be sued in the federal court of claims on the regular when they think they could keep doing this shit instead of going to the district court. They gotta be taken into the federal court of claims because it's them and they little rogue little secret societies that be doing shit thinking they doing shit quietly. Well, guys, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to get off of here. I got some things to do. But I just wanted to come and touch mics with y'all for a minute. I haven't been live in 5 or 6 years. Yes, long live Lao Shu. Long live Moses McCormick. And justice for Moses McCormick and justice for Mark Anthony McCormick. Yeah, I seen that, Joseph. Yeah, that's why I don't know. I'm really starting to think about starting a life somewhere else on another side of the world or something. I don't know. Because this is just uh-uh. It's disgusting. Yeah, it's really crazy. Sometimes sometimes you have to sometimes you have to be very, very creative with how you do things with this with as much as deception going on as what's going on today. Yeah, Joseph. I've thought about that, but oh, no sweat, no sweat. Well, guys, it's been wonderful. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. Maybe I'll come back on here tomorrow. Maybe we'll do this more often. Um, yeah. So you guys have a good night. Cambodia. I know some Cambodian people. They are really nice people. The Cambodian people are very nice people. Okay, guys, I'll see you later. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for your time. We love you all. Good night.